Hi everyone, and welcome to my new booktube. Maybe if you're here first, you're a subscriber on my Korean learning YouTube, or you're here from Instagram or Twitter. So welcome. I thought I would start this channel off with the kind of introductory Booktube Newbie tag. I wanted to do this just as like a way to introduce myself and to tell you about what I'm going to do with this channel and what plans I have. So let's just get right into it and you can learn about me. So first, let's do a quick introduction to me. I am Katherine, or Kat if you will, and I am 26-year-old Canadian living in South Korea right now. I have been living here for over 2 years now. I have no plans of leaving yet. I am a English as a second language teacher at a private school here, and I have had a passion for reading and for books and learning that has not left me since I was 5 or 6 years old. So I'm getting a bit tired of talking about books to my boyfriend who doesn't read. So I made this. So let's begin. Question 1, why did you start this booktube? Well, as I just mentioned previously, I'm getting a little bit tired of talking to my boyfriend who doesn't read about books because he doesn't care and I care too much. So I needed an outlet to open a discussion about the books that I'm reading and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I started. Also, like I said, I live in Korea and I don't have many foreigner friends or English-speaking friends or friends that read. So I'm just opening the floor and giving myself a outlet to talk about books. That's that. Question number 2, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? I don't know if I'm like unique, but I think that I build a connection with books that follows me throughout my entire life, and I have this heavy passion and like yearning for going into new worlds. So hopefully I can just bring more passion. I know this community is already passionate enough and all of that, but I just want to add like a little stone to the whirlpool or the river or the ocean of booktubers here just talking about their passion with books. And yeah, so that's all I have to offer. Maybe I can make or show other people how books can really make you feel at home when you are very far from home. So that's that one. Number 3 question, what are you most excited about for this new channel? And well, first, if we're going to talk in like a really simple sense, I just finished reading possibly one of the best books I've ever read in the entire 26 years of my life, and I'm really excited to talk about that book with you guys and to show you guys and to discuss and share my thoughts and opinions. So that's like kind of on the smaller scale. And on the bigger scale, I'm really excited to join this community and kind of get my thoughts and opinions out there and connect with other people who are English is evading me right now, and to connect with other people who also hold this passion and love for books and literature and learning. So I just want to make friends, I guess. So yeah. Question 4, why do you love reading? This is a broad question, and I feel like it really needs a 30-minute video, but I'll give you the brief and concise answer. So my mom and my grandma are very, very avid readers. They have been since I've been born. So growing up, I've been surrounded by books. I always saw my mom and my grandma just reading, and always there was books. If I wanted to have a book, then I could have a book. They would take me to the library. So even if they didn't directly say oh, you should read, just watching them and seeing them reading all the time really encouraged and cultivated that love for books for me. Also, my mom and my grandma are quite possibly two of the most important people in my entire life. They always will be. So it was kind of a habit that I learned to associate with them, which made it more of a loving and pure habit for me. So that's why I started, and then I kept going because I loved getting lost in the pages of a book that open new worlds to me, that show me that our world is not the only world we have, and that people's imaginations are so vast and wonderful. So I love being able to see into people's minds and different universes and different situations, and I love learning from that. I love experiencing that, and it's just entertaining. So it's something that I've been doing for many, many years. So and at this point, I don't think I'll ever not be a reader. People always say to me oh, I wish I read a lot more books, I wish I could read more, and stuff like that, and then it's never occurred to me that you cannot like reading. So I decided to just keep reading. I love reading. It's part of me now. So it's something that if I couldn't do, I would feel like I've lost a chunk of myself. So yeah, that's my brief answer. Question 5, what book or series got you into reading? So I could be basic and say what everyone says, that it's the Harry Potter series or the Percy Jackson series or something like that. But actually, what got me into reading was these books. These are the Guardians of Gahul books, and they're about owls, an owl society. So I guess I'm an owl kid. I don't know. But I remember in the 5th or 6th grade, our library would get the new one every 2 weeks because I guess they would only buy 1 or 2 at a time. So I would go to the library with my friend, and we would rock, scissors, paper over who could read first. And I just loved that anticipation of waiting for the next installment of the story. So that's why, that's what really got me into following a story and being excited for the next book and being excited to read. So honestly, more than Harry Potter, actually I think I read more of the Harry Potter books after the Guardians of Gahul books, but I read these, and that's what sparked my descent into reading. And actually, at my private academy now, my English academy, we have a couple of these books for the kids to read in our little corner library, and seeing them made me so happy. I was like, oh, my childhood. Question 6, a question you would ask your favorite booktubers. I just have one question. How do you guys summarize a plot so eloquently without spoiling anything? Every time someone says, oh, that looks like a good book, what are you reading? What's it about? It's just blank screen in my head. I said, Maybe a girl and a guy, they do some things, they walk to this place. Like, I can't describe a plot very well, but then I watch some of these YouTubers like Carrie Can Read, and she just like writes poetry about these plot lines. Like, I don't understand. How do you do it? Like, do you write notes? Do you read off a script? How do you do it? I have to learn. I have to be able to summarize a book if I want to run a YouTube channel. Anyways, that's what I want to extend that question to any booktuber watching this. How did you learn how to summarize a plot so perfectly without spoiling anything? Yep. Question 7. What challenges or like hard things do you think you will have to overcome running this booktube? And I'm gonna go back to the fact that I live in South Korea. There's not a huge variety of English books here. So I actually read most of my books on my iPad using the Libby app, the Overdrive's Libby app. So I actually borrow them from the library back home. However, like, that could be a problem. They don't have every book. I want to read every book, but like, I'm planning on moving apartments sometime next year, so I don't want to collect books. Like, I don't want to have a million books and have to move them. So I think one of the hardest parts is going to be able to keep up with what everyone else is reading, trying to have access to these English books that I can read. I do read novels in Korean as well. However, that's more like studying as opposed to enjoying literature. So I think that's going to be something to overcome, because I do want to keep up with popular reads. I do want to I want to read what everyone else is reading sometimes, because usually everyone else is reading it because it's really good. So that's one thing that I have to overcome, and I will. I will sometimes go to the big foreign bookstore here, or well, not foreign, but like in the foreigner area, so that I can buy those books or something. I don't know, but yeah. Question number 8. When did you start reading? I touched on this earlier, but maybe 5 or 6 years old. Actually, I have a memory, if my memory serves me right. When I started kindergarten, we used to do these like bagged books. So they would have a book in a bag and it'd have like a little worksheet. And I remember that we had to like read one to the teacher so they could test our level. And my reading level was just above these kindergarten grade books. So she actually took me to the 2nd grade or 3rd grade classroom and had me read one of those books to her. And then so for the whole year, I just read the older kid books. So I'm assuming I started reading mostly before kindergarten. So that is when I started reading, maybe 5 or 6 years old. But yeah. Question 9. Where do you read? So I read pretty much anywhere. My favorite place to read is in my bed. Obviously, it's the most cozy. If I'm at my boyfriend's house, I read on his sofa, because I don't have a sofa. I live in like a 1-room apartment. There's no room for a sofa. Or I like to read in cafes. So something I want to bring to this channel too is like cafe reading vlogs, because the cafes in Korea are no joke. They're beautiful. Like, so much thought and effort goes into the decoration of some of the independent cafes here. So that's something I want to bring to you guys. So yeah, bed, cafe, or anywhere else. The great thing about reading on my phone is that if I'm on the subway, I can just read for a minute. Between my classes, we have 10-minute breaks. If I have nothing to prepare, then I read on my phone. So I can read anywhere, but the best places, cafe, bed. Question 10. What kind of books do you like to read? And I know everyone says this, but I'll pretty much read anything. If I'm interested in it, I'll read anything. However, 2 favorites, magical realism. Yep, I love magical realism, whether it's middle grade, YA, or adults. If there's a little bit of magic, sprinkled into daily life, I love it. Also, I like fantasy. Fantasy is something that I've always been into. I think that started with the Harry Potter and the Guardians of Cool books. But yeah, I love fantasy. I love magical realism. I also read romance. I read horror. I read thrillers. I read mysteries, contemporary, just anything. If I like the sound of the plot, I'll try reading it. I'm not a huge fan of biographies or like essays, so I don't read a lot of those. So yeah. Question 11. My head is another finger. What does your book collection look like? And again, for the millionth time, I live in South Korea. Most of my books are back home in Canada. My grandma is keeping them for me. So right now, my book collection looks like this. And a lot of them are Korean books. Actually, English books are only on this shelf here. Starting from this big red one, the Kazuo Ishiguro book, over. Those are English books. So I don't want to have a huge collection here until I settle into my forever home, which hopefully I'm going to be doing next year. Then I can kind of upgrade my collection. If my boyfriend's watching this, he's going to be shaking his head saying no. But there is a lot of books that I want to buy. However, another thing, buying English books here in Korea, it's a little bit expensive. For example, I have the Korean version of Almond. So in Korean it's almond. And that was $10, maybe roughly $12 Canadian. And then I also recently bought the English edition and it was about $20 Canadian, even though they're both paperback, same size, same content, but because it's not a Korean novel and I live in Korea, it was more expensive. So yeah. Okay everyone, that clues up all the questions. I hope that some of you stayed and watched the whole thing. I hope that you had a good time watching, and I hope that you can look forward to my videos. I think my next video will be an October wrap-up because I actually had a really good reading month in October, and I have lots of books to talk about. And yeah, so thank you for watching and welcome to my channel. I hope that this channel can flourish into a great community where I can talk with you guys about books, and that's really exciting to me. So yeah, I'll leave my Goodreads and Twitter and Instagram in the bio. The Twitter and Instagram are kind of language study related, but I do post some personal stuff on there sometimes too. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!